I'm Mr. MegaManFan, this is Genesis Does, and for the second week in a row, we're featuring a game published by Micronet, developed by BigNet, and this one has 8 megabits of memory. Appropriate for Mr. MegaManFan, wouldn't you say? Mega memory. This one is called Heavy Nova, and here's a little behind the scenes note about Heavy Nova. In the 2000s, I started keeping dates on when I added new games to my Sega Genesis collection. So, in fact, I can tell you that I've owned this one for 15 years, June 22nd, 2005. 2 days after my birthday, I picked up a copy of Heavy Nova. And I have no idea why, because in the last 15 years, I honestly can't remember having played this game once. Today is going to be a learning experience for me and for you, because we're both going to find out what Heavy Nova is all about. Now, I did a little research before I started playing, and I found out that this game also came out on the Sharp X68000, a Japan-exclusive home console computer, and one that's very popular with collectors, but I would imagine most people would know Heavy Nova from the fact that it was on Mega Drive and Genesis. And since it was never on any Nintendo platforms ever, not even Virtual Console as far as I'm aware, this is a true Genesis Does What Nintendon't exclusive. Now, since my copy doesn't come with an instruction manual, I will quote from the ever-reliable Wikipedia. Sometime in Earth's future, it came to mankind's realization that Earth's natural resources were starting to decline. Despite every nation's attempt, the Earth's environment and resources continued to thin. Suddenly, an alien race appeared in our solar system. Hailing from the planet Akarov, the aliens had been observing Earth for centuries, and they arrived in order to save it. With their technological help, Earth's environment was replenished, and humans were able to travel deeper into space. By the year 2102, mankind was at peace, all thanks to the Akarovians. 10 years later, a plot to enslave mankind was discovered to be part of the Akarovians' plans, and a war was waged between the two. 8 years after the war began, the Akarovians lost and fled the solar system. The primary machines for Earth's victory came from Akarovian design machines, giant Gundam robots designed to repair Earth's satellite and colony structures. The robots were favored as Earth's primary line of defense, and they were dubbed the Heavy Dolls. Defensive, offensive, lethal liberators. And that's what you're doing in the game Heavy Nova. You are controlling one of these heavy dolls, and you are training for conquest and victory. You have to go through these various missions, one of which you're about to see right now, and at the end of each mission, as indicated in the plot scroll, you have to fight a boss character. Now, because you're piloting a Gundam, it does make sense that your movements are somewhat slow and ponderous. You don't have rapid reflexes, but then you're expected to do a 2D Street Fighter style combat game with pro wrestling moves that are only unlocked as you level up. Oh boy, you'll see in a moment, but this is not a great combination, and reviewers were not especially kind to this game back in the day as a result. In fact, one infamous review from Entertainment Weekly said, "Identically languid opponents and shamelessly minimal action sequences make this game the perfect corrective to acute caffeine poisoning." Their point being, if you've got the jitters because you're hopped up on Coca-Cola, just play this game for a while and you'll be asleep in no time. That was their very wordy way of saying a very simple thing. And that sort of goes along with the problem of Heavy Nova. They take something that could be incredibly simple, which is two robots fighting each other, and make it needlessly complicated. Now, part of this is not the game's fault. Part of it is my own for buying a copy that didn't come with an instruction manual. Nevertheless, when your only two moves at the earliest level are a punch and a kick, trying to do anything effective is extremely frustrating. The slow movement does not help matters, and the action is very stale and repetitive because you end up relying on whichever move is in range of the robot you're attacking and just spamming it repeatedly, or going back and forth between the two. Punch, kick, kick, punch, kick, punch, kick, punch. It sounds like I'm playing Parappa the Rappa, doesn't it? Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find a game that's more fun than Heavy Nova. Now I want to see a game over. Now kick, punch. Anyway, it's possible, I will admit, it's possible that if I knew the full move sets and how to execute them, that would improve this game quite a bit. Having a move list would be helpful, but then again, having to memorize a move list would not be helpful. Look at all of these different things that you can supposedly do, but until you level up, a lot of these moves aren't even unlocked, so it's a big old cock tease when they show you this list, like, hey look, you can do pile drivers and flying jump kicks, but oh wait, you haven't learned those moves yet, so you get nothing. You lose. You get nothing. I said good day, sir. It's also interesting that the robots show off the moves you can't even do as you're looking at the scores be tallied. That just makes matters even worse. That's really rubbing salt into an open wound. And as for the robots themselves, one reviewer described it as watching Michael Jackson do the Moonwalker dance in slow motion. Pretty accurate. There's something both limber and stiff about your robot at the exact same time. Again, somewhat forgivable, given that it's supposed to be a mech, but at the same time, I've played mechs that are more controllable than this, and it's really weird that you have to go up into the air. I suppose some fighting games do that, but this is not a fighting part of the game, so you would expect to have a jump button, or if it's a jetpack, a button you can hold to thrust up into the air, but it won't let you do either of those things. You have to hold up in order to fly up or fly forward. And because you move so ponderously slow, avoiding obstacles in these side-scrolling, almost platform-esque style sequences, it almost feels like a Cuphead type of aesthetic where they have short platforming and then boss fights that are the real feature. And that is such a weird comparison that I'm listening to myself as I say it going, no. But at the same time, yes, because Cuphead, even though it looks like a cartoon from the 1930s, is very much a modern-day 2010s boss rush game with minimal platforming. And that does seem to be an apt comparison, so I'm just gonna live with it. You can agree, you can disagree, it's up to you, but either way, I appreciate you being here and watching me play this very strange game. Not the worst game. That's what I'm going to continue to ponder as I come back to Heavy Nova in the future, because 15 years was definitely too long for me to get around to playing this. I won't be waiting that long till I play it the next time, but I will be giving it a lot of thought when I play it the next time as to how good this really is, because it's slow, it's cumbersome, the unlocking of moves is a real pain, not knowing what moves to use is an even bigger pain. The idea that I would have to memorize a full move list to get any good at this game could be the biggest pain of all. And yet, there is something intriguing about it to me. I don't think it's the plot. The plot is pretty generic. Aliens came, aliens saved us, but the aliens were always going to exploit us. It was all a secret plan. It's like the plot from V, The Final Battle. Now that's dating me. If you ever watched V, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, sorry, go back, look it up, check it out. It's actually really cool. But I don't hate it. I don't hate Heavy Nova. The reviews were scathing. It was low rated, 4 out of 10, D+, etc., etc. And I get all the reasons they say it's bad. The graphics aren't super exciting. The music is nothing to write home about. The gameplay is slow and clunky. And yet, if I had to choose between this and last week's game, Warrior of Rome 2, I would choose this one every single time. Same developer, same publisher, much more fun to play, which may say less about the quality of Heavy Nova and more about my level of affection for real-time strategy games, but there is something here. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's not one of those games you can just totally shit on an angry video game nerd style, and it's not one of those games that you can totally praise happy console gaming nerd style. It's just right there in the middle. It's certainly not a D+. It doesn't have anything great that you can write home about and say, this is an all-time classic, but it's fun enough for a little while. And it might actually be worth it to play through all these boss fights and get to the end and see whatever plot revelation is there at the end, because there's actually a sequel to this game, and that would be worth knowing if I was ever going to check out the sequel, which is called Black Hole Assault. So maybe that more than anything else is what will lure me on to finish Heavy Nova. It won't be because of the 8 megabits of memory. It won't be because of the fighting sequences. It'll be, I want to know what happens at the end before I play the next game. And the fact that this even got a sequel should tell you that despite all the negative reviews that the game got, there was enough going for it that somebody thought, let's make another one of these. So there's my thoughts on Heavy Nova. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. I appreciate you being here with me. I hope you will like this video, leave a comment on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and maybe recommend me to a friend, a colleague, or a classic gamer who loves all things gaming and Sega Genesis games, which are featured every Thursday night on Genesis Does. Once again, I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next video.